Hey, hi there, French Vinale coming for another video. It's crazy. Currently, a lot of challenge threads are going on the internet, on YouTube. So you don't even have to think about new ideas for a new video, which is pretty cool. And yeah, in today's video, I will take up a challenge from Joe Family. It's a French YouTuber, and he had the brilliant idea to come up with an idea. So what about the 10 records that I would bring or carry to a desert island? So this is my attempt. Ready? Let's go. So yeah, pretty interesting topics. 10 records that I would bring to a desert island. Of course, I need a turntable as well to listen to these records. So I choose definitely 10 albums that I really like, probably my favorite ones that I'm going to share with you today. The first one I would bring to a desert island is definitely that one. I've listened to that record so many times. That's Cream, Ginger Baker, Jack Bruce, Eric Clapton, Power Trio, 1967 blues, late 60s British blues and psychedelic music as its best. Contains a smash hit, Sunshine of Your Love. A lot of great songs on that album, Words of Pain, Tales of Brave Lucy's, Blue Conditions, Strange Brew, the opening track is really cool. I think, yeah, it's the second album they made. They made a third album and then they split. Really cool, and this is a UK press, original UK press, released on the Reaction label, as you can see. So blue label. Disraeli Gears from Cream, 1967. The second one I would bring on a desert island is that one, Crosby, Stills and Nash. Great band, super group as well. Graham Nash, David Crosby, Stephen Stills. First album, it's incredible story. They were invited at the Mama Cass garden, backyard. They were starting to jam together, and then they had this brilliant idea to become a group. So they had one little small gig in a pub, and the second one was just at Woodstock. So this album has a lot of killer songs. Everything on that album is fantastic. There are no bad songs on that album, I would say, and I've listened it so many times. This is a German press. When I was living in France, I was very close to the border with Germany, so I went a couple of times in Germany. Records were always decent, could get it at a decent price. So this is a Crosby, Stills, Nash first album. The second one is Deja Vu, is great as well, but I would prefer to go with this one. Speaking about Germany, the next one is a German band. Remember, I'm on a desert island, so I need some diversity, so different styles of music. So I love rock and roll, but that one is a must-have too. This is a Kraftwerk Trans-Europe Express. This is a German version, a German pressing as well. It served as a huge source of inspiration in the 80s and new wave, hip-hop. A lot of bands like OMD, Depeche Mode, African Bambaataa, just to name a few, got their inspiration of what they made, or what this German made during the 70s. So this is a Trans-Europa Express, the German press, German version, and it's really cool. It's really experimental, it's electronic music, but it's just show what was to become in the next years. Now another masterpiece, iconic album, Miles Davis, A Kind of Blue. I'm not really an expert in jazz. Some other are, so I won't go into detail. But I think this is an album when you become to listen to jazz. This is a must-have album when you're a jazz enthusiast. This is really an album that you prefer sometimes. I had this great discussion with a guy who composed actually the score of that channel, and the very first discussion we had about jazz was about that album, what it brought back in the days, all the change they made, and Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. I'm sure everyone knows about that record, but it still sounds very modern, although it has been released in 59, I guess. This is a reissue I got because you cannot really afford an original copy from 1959, but it still sounds great. So, Miles Davis. The next one is a prog rock album, probably often considered as the first one of the genre. This is King Crimson in the Court of Crimson King. A project. It's more a project than a band, because after that album the band split. But it was really a killer album, released in 1969. In my opinion, it's one of the albums that has changed the deal in 1969, along with maybe Chicago Transit Authorities and the first Led Zeppelin album. Define what progressive music was about to become in the early 70s. So King Crimson in the Court of Crimson King. I've got two versions of that album, a French press original or in very good condition, and a UK press in many poor conditions. So but it's definitely a must-have album if you want to understand why progressive music become what it was. You have to definitely to give it a try to listen to that album first. On to the next, different style of music, different decade. This is Iron Maiden. This is a Number of the Beast. This is the first album of Iron Maiden I bought when I was 16, and I think I listened to that album every day in the summer when I was 16. My parents remember. First one with Bruce Dickinson on vocals. The third one of the band. They made two records with Paul Di'Anno, Iron Maiden self-titled, and Killers. This is a Number of the Beast. They are only great songs on that album. It's a new wave of British heavy metal, as they said, with a Run to the Hills. And this is interesting because I thought this was a UK press, inner sleeve, as this typical UK press, but this is actually an Irish press. This is a press from Ireland, so I don't know what's the difference actually. Maybe some of you know. Are there any difference between a UK or a press from Ireland? I don't know. It just sounds great to my ears, so it's not a problem. But so Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. Then another classic album I would bring to a desert island. It's that one. Revolver, the Beatles. Beatles is my favorite band. I've been listening to the Beatles since I was maybe 11 or 12 years old. I've got all albums on CD, on cassette. I recently was lucky to find all albums in UK press, mainly mono. The first part of the career of the Beatles. This is probably my favorite. It's not my it's probably one of my top three. Along with Sgt. Pepper and Abbey Road, I had to choose between one of the three, so I decided to go with Revolver. This is a mono version. This is actually the French press. This is the first. When I got into vinyl, I was amazed by the sound of the analog vinyl again, because I grew up in the 90s, as I said in the previous video, with the electronic, with the digital sound of the CD. So the first time I got into vinyl and I just listened to that record in mono, I was amazed. This is a French press. I also got the original UK mono. A mono version is definitely the best to my ears. The newly version is great as well, but mono version is definitely my go-to version. And this one I will definitely bring with me on a desert island. Then that one, So yeah, that's Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland. One of my favorite guitar player ever. I discovered Hendrix when I was 14. I was amazed. I think the first time I listened to that album was after I think work shift or something, when I was working at the age of 15 something. And it's blues, it's defined everything. I think it was a great source of inspiration as well for all the guitar player to come in the early 70s. It's a double album on vinyl. Electric Ladyland, so much great songs like 1983, or Voodoo Child, just to name a few. It's really it's a fantastic album. Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland. Then number 9. I don't think I have to introduce that album again. It turned 50 years that year. There's a lot of reissues been going on. Yeah, I like that album. Like many people who are watching that video does. Probably I think it's the best album they made, along with in my opinion, with Metal and with Wish You Were Here. Side 2 is brilliant. Just the ending of that album is I'm amazed every time I listen to that record. I probably listen to once a month in a good condition on a Friday evening, and yeah, it's incredible the power of these young people, because they were not even 30 years old when they were recording that fantastic masterpiece. So yeah, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. And last but not least, number 4, sorry, Led Zeppelin 4. This is my favorite Led Zeppelin record. I know a lot of people on YouTube, they say it's the first Led Zeppelin or the second album their favorite. To me, it's this one, my favorite album. Stairway to Heaven changed my life when I was listening to it for the first time when I was about 14 or 15 years old. I was trying to learn to play the guitar because of Stairway to Heaven. Never managed to play that song till the end. Yeah, and it's great. And I think it's the first time the band was taken seriously in the UK, and a lot of killers tracks on that one. As you know, when the Levy breaks, great songs, historical songs. Why the Levy breaks? That's the reason why that Chicago became the city of the blues, because a lot of people were working on the South Mississippi Delta because of the floods. They were forced to escape to Chicago, so to move to Chicago. Sorry. So this is why Chicago became the city of the blues, because of the flood happening in the 1920s, and the song When the Levee Breaks describes what happened. So Led Zeppelin number 4, my favorite album. So thank you for watching. I hope you like my choice. Please write me in the comment section, what do you think? Are there any albums that you think it's your favorite as well? And probably, yeah, give me your list. What 10 albums would you bring to a desert island? And from some who doesn't know about French YouTuber, maybe you can give a try. You can make your own challenge, 10 records you would bring to a desert island. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye bye.